Hello, everyone, and I want to wish you all a happy Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Now, why did I refer to him this way? Well, I don't think it means too much trouble to refer to this amazing human being with 6 words, which is equal to 36 letters or 30 phonemes, because he was such a great human being. There are 2 other individuals which have been confused with this particular person when people are writing about him, and there is a reason for it. I will get to that in a second. But if you're not willing to say his whole 6-word name, then you might be referring to one of these other 2 people. I don't think it's a lot, and you'll see why when you take a look at these 2 clips I have for you. It's not like their names are that long.
You take me for granted. I do not take you for granted. You agreed to the plan, and then you went rogue. Our Lord! Oh, you know what? No, I forbid you to go. Forbid me? Well, nobody forbids Sofia Maria Consuelo Rafaela Rodriguez.
Welcome back, Lord Nibbler.
So your real name is Lord Nibbler? That's a coincidence.
That name is for your sake. In the time it would take to pronounce one letter of my true name, a trillion cosmoses would flare into existence and sink into eternal night.
The original clip from Young and Hungry is referring to Lorde, the female singer from England. But I thought it was cute because he's a reverend and Lord as in the Lord our God. So there's a play on words there. And Nibbler, 1,000 cosmoses or whatever the clip said. It's a long time to pronounce one name. It doesn't take so long, especially when someone is so important. So now I want to show you a little bit about those 2 other people and a little bit about the doctor himself. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., American Baptist minister, activist, humanitarian, and leader in the American African Civil Rights Movement. The man, the idea. Martin Luther was a German theologian in the Lutheran Church. The Reverend Martin Luther King Sr. was an American Baptist preacher and inspired his son, who is the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the American Baptist preacher and civil rights movement activist. As Whitney Houston once stated, "I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way." Here's about Martin Luther. Martin Luther was born November 10th, 1483, and died February 18, 1546. This was during the time of the Catholic Spanish Inquisition, which lasted between 1478 and 1834. The German professor and theologian, priest, and former monk rejected the Catholic Church. He taught that the salvation and eternal life are not earned by doing good deeds, but received and by the free gift of God's grace through faith in Jesus Christ as the Redeemer of sin. He believed the Bible was the only source of God's words, and he opposed sacerdotalism, which is the sacrifice for the sins through the priest. And lastly, he wrote 95 theses in power of indulgences, which refutes the Catholic teachings, thus funding the Lutheran Church. And this is a symbol of that church. You can see a beautiful picture of a church. The Reverend Martin Luther King, Sr. He was born December 19th, 1899, and he died November 11th, 1984. This was during the American Great Depression, which lasted between 1929 and 1939. His focus on civil rights of African Americans, and he was actually born with a different name, Michael King. In 1934, he chose the name Martin Luther King and changed his eldest son as well to the same. You can see why. And there's a picture of him at his church, Ebenezer Baptist Church.
Who's that?
Never mind. Let's go back.
Who is he?
With me. There's only me here, that's the point. Now let's get back.
I never saw that one. I saw all of them. Faces, all of them you. You were the 11th Doctor.
I said he was me. I never said he was the Doctor.
Oh, I don't understand.
I know my real name. That is not the point. The name I chose is the Doctor. The name you choose, it's like a promise you make. He's the one who broke the promise. Clara! 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 Here's my secret. What I did without choice. I know. In the name of peace and sanity. But not in the name of the Doctor.
That shows the importance of choosing your own name. And here is the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Born January 15th, 1929, died April 4th, 1968. He followed in his father's footsteps as the Baptist minister, African American civil rights movement starter, and preached nonviolence like Mahatma Gandhi here, as well as civil disobedience like Henry David Thoreau here. He was best known for, in 1955, the Montgomery bus boycott, which involved Miss Rosa Parks. In 1963, the March on Washington, D.C., in which he tells his famous I Have a Dream speech. And in 1968, the Poor People's Campaign to combat President Lyndon B. Johnson's war on poverty.